lawyer for Jakwa, one of their lawyers, Mr. Sorry, that stopped talking to him. And I can understand why his lawyer was talking to him, because the guy was interesting. Anyway, we'll get there. That's our full story tonight. Adenta Kumi is back in the studio, and this time he has all the details on the demonstration that occurred, the petition that was sent, and then the hotel details. Okay, let's get to some of our early beginning teasers, and then we pick up the story. There's a video that's going around that I like. You know, it has three important men, and the one in the center is Alan Chemate. There's Johnson Asid Nkete in the video as well, and there's our friend Cheddar. I don't know where they met. It looks like they're all in black, so I guess it was one of the important funerals that occurred recently. But when you look at the video, okay, you look at the video yourself. You look at it. Please show the video. Show the video. So that's the what are they talking about? Okay, Cheddar seems to be the one conducting affairs in the middle, and I said we can tell the one on the left getting out of your shot right now, but you can still see his gesticulations from his hand, and he's touching Alan Chemate. Okay, the video starts again. Oh, it's Mr. George Chumberima. Yes. It's Mr. Sorry, it's not saying it here. It's Mr. George Chumberima. No, look at Cheddar. Alan is all smiles. It looks like he's listening, but I'm not sure how serious he's taking it. Hey. Assassin Radio people put this on Facebook, and they said 3 heads are better than 1. Wow. Okay, so viewers, you have to have your own view on that one. We'll come back to it another time. All right, let's remind ourselves of Dr. Atawusu's 24-hour economy, and then we will continue with the show. Let's just remind ourselves of it. Dr. Atawusu is here. Good evening, Dr. Atawusu. What is 24-hour economy?
Na 24-hour economy, mama no papa no mo mutitifie mo yen emwa. John Dramani Mahama say what the modern farming techniques and the deba. Enti under animal farming. Wo ko ba bi ti say pudon e wo China. Wo ko ho a animal farming no wonim say jata ne mo akese elephant ne ade nyina egu farm no bi. Enti wontimi nkose wo kwa akodododo ana se wo ko wakodua nuane wo ho enti wodi kai set up plantation ni bibia wie wo wia ne ogya mo na gum na gya mo na gum a wo behia omo so a wo mo di plane ebe fa wiem no mas asevo emwa ne nuane ne ade na proud to that no what training expert for wo mo so ebe hwe nkwa a friend say omo ebehwe mwa no so boa bi yare a ebetima wo no pane ne ade ade na sanyoma we nyina na e baso a ebeboa ma omo mawie agric e wa agric University Legon wo mu nyina benya adwuma ye omo nya adwuma ye.
With all that we are saying, I'm quite confused.
Okay.
I'm confused kakra. I'm confused and say animal really no say yeah animal farming no sa jatani we ni nyina no ebe benefits.
Yeah, yes, reason is ebe my tourist attraction.
Okay, good.
Because ukopudon now
more of tourism than say yeah re animal
number. That no so no mo na kasa no ubetimi a export to be.
Okay.
Who export no na sika no dey enioma na ekọ no na nya dollars ne ba na be wo sika sama e dey agina.
Okay.
Proud to that no they will make a exportation no movement how be no adwe say wo di nioma ni bi kọ no ha na dey kọ no wo dey kọ no wo be nya dollars na ba dollars ba because country bia na wo kan nioma more than the export to bia no country na ho den dey eba fom and na Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia ba ya wantimi anya wa ma ho chaba eti wo mo we extension officers ni ade ni nyina no adwuma ye wo mo ye for machinery for no ye beto war fencing land ni nyina almost benya adwuma ye proud to that. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia eba ya oka say obey one district one factory wantimi and here John Dramani Mahama say under one district one factory no wono de obey be embark on agro
Antoinette, do you know Budon?
No.
Do you know Budon?
No. What's that?
There's no town in China called Budon.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a Pudong. It's one of the names of the airport.
The airport?
Shanghai Jichang.
What does it mean?
It's Shanghai Pudong International Airport.
He says if you go to Budon in China.
Yes, so it's like there is a particular part of the town called Pudong.
And they do animal rearing there?
I don't know about that.
You don't know? Is it in Beijing?
No, it's not in Beijing.
It's in Shanghai?
Shanghai, yes.
Budong. Okay, can you check on your phone more about Budong, whether, so if you go onto a Chinese website and they explain it, then you can tell us. Because he said the lions and the tigers are there, that's what he said. So why are you laughing? Anyway, viewers, back on the show. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's still live. Now, let's discuss the small matter that was a quarrel on social media today. Woke up to some gowns and graduation ceremony occurring among some young people. Social media was divided. NDC people said, oh, how can you train Kayayei in 20 days? Apparently, it was a training of the Kayayei people. They said, how can you train Kayayei in 20 days? In bread making, all of that in 20 days and organize a graduation. We're going to see a video of that. So please, social media people, just get your text messages running. Can I go on the touch screen and show you some photographs before we look at the video? Then we get into full steam of our conversation tonight. Yes, is that okay? Let's then. Okay, so here they are. This is the Kayayei people at their hostel. Showing off their gowns, and they were nicely dressed, and they had in dressmaking and all of that. Yeah. So if we flip the pictures along, okay. So this is soap making. These are some of the things that they did. So you have the billboard says from Kayayei to decorators, from Kayayei to nail technicians, from Kayayei to decorators again, interior decorators, I'm sure. So this is the promise that Dr. Bawumia made when he was campaigning for the 2016 and 2020 elections, I believe, especially 2016 elections. And he said that they was going to get the Kayayei off the streets by giving them skills. First of all, he was going to accommodate them. A few weeks ago, he launched the accommodation plan for the Kayayei people somewhere in Medina. And today, and straight after that, they got into training the Kayayei. This is the first time it's ever happened in Ghana. It's always been part of the rhetoric. When we set up the gender ministry for social protection and all that during the Mahama time, we were told that the Kayayei were going to be a priority and something was going to happen. Unfortunately, again, the promises of politicians, nothing happened. Between 2013 and 2016, nothing happened. We set up a whole ministry with the consent that protection, but nothing happened. Now, though, something is happening. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia has implemented his promise to them, and today they graduated. There they go. They were able to put all these mispie, bofro, tachomo, kube cake, inkati cake. They were able to put all of those things together. I'm sure they can also do meda, asana. They can do all of these things for funerals, and they can earn some money, decent earning, better than just being head porters, because they are young people, they are able. They may not have literary and numeracy skills, but they can do this. And that's the story. That's really the story that a country should tell, isn't it? That's the story a country should tell. And sometimes I wonder why we are not able to do some of these little things. I wonder why we can't have a government that takes a decision that all the trotros on the road should be cleared by the next 4 years and replace them with more decent seating, more decent bus sitting. We've been following the conversation about PhD and all, and Dutch passport and all of that. Where is it coming from? It's coming from the government's inability to give Ghanaians a decent living. You know, people who clean in the ministries, can we not pay them 1,500 cedis a month and pay them 1,000 cedis in their pocket and use 500 cedis to pay for their accommodation, whilst government takes a loan to build the infrastructure for them? You can have somewhere in Accra, in Mamprobi, around. You don't have to go to Boteman, you don't have to go to Sagleme and all of those places. There's plenty of spaces that if the engineering is correct, you can put a structure there. You can put an 11-story structure there of 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom. Each bedroom has a small kitchen, has a small bathroom. Very, very small. But it is decent. He has a door, he can lock it. He has a window, he can open it. And then every month you charge him 500 cedis for that accommodation. That is for a basic cleaner at the ministries. He earns 1,500, 1,000 to his pocket, 500 cedis to pay for his accommodation. Government should be able to do that. It's not complicated. This is a first step. But if we're able to do these things, we don't have to struggle with an argument of whether we need a certain passport or not. It's just decent accommodation that is able to happen. If somebody is thinking, and if we are using the right people who can think to do something, all the time I fight with labor ministers in Ghana. Because labor ministers are appointed. After 4 years, nothing happens in a labor situation. Who is thinking? Why are we starting work at 8 o'clock and finishing at 5? We've been doing it from 1945. Why are we still doing that? Who is thinking about the situation? Who is thinking? And who is checking what is happening elsewhere to bring best practice to Ghana? This is the problem of our society. And when we are running elections, we want the politicians to offer solutions to these things. And then somebody can say, we go to Budon to go and do red tiger and lion. What is this? What is this? What is this? The youth should be challenging the government that, how are you going to solve an accommodation problem? Government should come and say, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to borrow this amount of money. I'm going to build 6 units of so and so. I'm not building it in Sagleme. I'm building it in Mamprobi. If you're in Kumasi, I'm building it around Ridge. There's so much spaces of land there. Put it there. Do the engineering underground properly. And you can have 100 people staying in that place. And they're all cleaners at the ministry. And they're earning 1,000 cedis in their pocket. They walk to work. Or they take just 1 bus to work. So they don't have to spend money on accommodation. You need a government that has people who are thinking. That's all. Our people are not thinking. The other people are thinking. It's not, they don't have more money than us. They are just thinking. That is all. They are not richer. They are thinking. Anyway, so this is the graduation ceremony. This is their certificate, and we are taking them from here. And they will take them to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. This is a great start. If you have a government that can think that I'm going to take all these people off the streets and give them these skills at the expense of the taxpayer, you have a government that is at least concerned about the people. That is very important. It doesn't have to be whether it's MPP or NDC. Both MPP and NDC must achieve some of these things. You must have leaders who can demonstrate that I have done some thinking, and out of the thinking, I have produced something that is solving somebody's problem. That's what leadership is about. Thinking that produces a solution to redeem a problem. This is what has happened. This is what has happened. So this is their hostel and etc. etc. Well, the more I talk about this, the more I digress. We'll get time. Let's start the podcast and do some of these important conversations. Let's go to the videos from today's graduation. Congratulations, though, to Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia and his team. You have demonstrated that you can think about the people. Have a look at the video. All right, so we saw that let's get our people working. Let's get our politicians thinking. and let's get politicians who are solution oriented. They come to the table with solutions. They tell you, this is the problem, this is the way I'm going to solve it. It's not people who say things that you really cannot understand and things that make you laugh. The more we are laughing, the more we are laughing at our future. And the future that is to be laughed at is a poor future. If the future is spectacular, you don't laugh at it, you applaud it. But the more that you see these things happening, people are campaigning in a way that is making you laugh, you are actually laughing at the future, because if you're not careful, somebody is going to elect that person into power. And it can happen. Somebody is going to elect that person into power. The person that you are laughing at, you are laughing because it sounds so ridiculous. We shouldn't be laughing. We should be angry. We should chuck them out. We should throw them away. We should be very angry, because when they do these things, they are destroying the future. Because if they get elected, there's no thinking that is going to be applied, and the problems are going to be piled upon. And here we are in 2024, and we are still a third world country, because we have not taken the decision that we have to evaluate a leader before we put him there. He must demonstrate in his life, his past life, that he has been thinking, that he has solved the problem, that he has been able to achieve something. And because of what he has achieved, this is where we put him. That's very, very important. It's always important. In fact, if we do that and he doesn't perform, we have done our duty to nature. Because you can do that, he can have all the credentials and still won't perform. That's true. So if you do that, you have done your bit. But if you go to elect somebody that you know that is not able to deliver, but for one reason or the other, you have to elect him, well, you are going to laugh at your future, isn't it? All right. It's 22 minutes at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. We're going to do our first story is court, and then our next story is Brianna Champon. But journalist Nana Brayford, do you know her? She bumped into Brianna Champon and they had a conversation in Akan. And the kind of denials that Brianna Champon put out in that video is significant. We caught the video on social media. I think somebody saw it, sent it to me, and then I sent it to my people, and I said, let's play this video. Have a look at it.
You are making losses, and there was a demonstration that you are making losses. And that Labadi should rather rescue you and not rescue Labadi.
Well, first of all, Obia Ogana Hanim Sero City, I mean, Sano Juma. Shadi, me a minister, me MP.
Yes.
Auntie, I know, but Ross City, the minimum say, Omo Moka. Obia any hobbits me account, baby, I say Ross City.
You are not making losses.
Well, me who could you turn in Samijafi?
Yes.
I was studio Maha when Neo Kuja to Shebata career Kemna Rock City is making losses were intercepted documents from GI or intercepted document Pia. The Okikeni Nini
from GRA.
Me say
Naya serial number.
Me say Nini
na Pombi and
say Miniaba. Bibia ni wa Kuja to kan was asem ni mo anaye nokre. Entronko try. In the first place, Rock City, Mama Aswati, and my check or GRE say, filing on 2023 taxes. I was almost filing by June ending. Into Munyam filing. Into could to intercepted document there or GRE. Rock City focus on 209C GRE, no matter filing taxes. I'm filing the end of the month. Into your document anyway. When your document in GRE Bibia said you a contumpo bosremuka in pro.
Nothing at all.
There's nothing. In
2022, no losses.
Me see, 2022 Rock City did not make losses. But he was categorical.
With 2020.
A file number, Emma.
The person who signed off.
Me see, GRE City has not even filed their 2023 taxes. It's due June ending. Into Nyawe. I am told one another, and and then I'm daring you. I'm daring him. So see what documents a Chester Rock City 2023. I finally was GRA and made losses on camera. Me will fear be war Trasaku. Me Nusukra. Me told 2014. Me the bet channel.
If there's a proof.
Me see on camera Ghana for Nani ma dance for. So to me, the Rock City 2023 accounts, Basse Rock City is making losses. Now Shabatakarina making losses on camera. Mrs. Hafi me the channel on pair. NGO be a charity be Opibiano. Where Ghanaians are dying at the amount on his orders. Ghana for nani me dance for. In fact, Nanaya or the conference in Lofton, Rock City or hotel back war. Akosombo Intercontinental Hotel. A Rock City there. Or call the crew more to me prove Sa hotel remember Rock City for assign their money. He should prove it. You see, or Hineni na me a minister. me MP me di domain me nkasa bebre enyema na okani nyina ye ntro ha ni na me competition charge and na me di way fa ha my imagine say be say nkwala di agro wa anwemu a me fa me ho nkoye den enkoka ho nti na maka ma no atum enye say me ni baby ka Rock City Hotel and then so hotels are one kind. Kempinski 269 rooms, Moving Peak 260 rooms, Labadi 160 rooms, Holiday Inn 160 rooms, if anything, Fiesta Royale. Okay, Casa hotels I can see one kind na bomwa. And then improve their Rock City in terms of number of rooms. Rock City has about 1,000 rooms now. Can hotels say what? My body now can the number of rooms or more? They are not even close to Rock City.
I see you are not paying taxes.
But I'm saying that Rock City, I'll come to that. Rock City is building over 3,000 rooms today there. What are you talking about? We are not paying taxes. This is a company that is paying VAT and paying taxes almost about 100,000, equivalent to $100,000 almost every month. What are you talking about? They don't pay taxes. Check from GRA, check from SNIT. Put all the Rock City hotels in Ghana, Akosombo, in Kumasi, in Accra, in Takoradi, and check whether they are not paying taxes. You see, the lies, I don't have any problem him doing his politics. Oh yeah, the politics in him family. Minkasa, I'm not going to go near the kinds of lies that he tells. But to be categorical on TV as an ordinary man and put it in a way, sometimes it's quite annoying and
still about 158 million gains.
I'm not going to,
and that you're not making anything.
But I'm saying that Rock City is expanding to be the biggest hotel in Africa. In all the 16 regions, 54 markets in Ghana, and hopefully take the brand international. He cannot bring it down. That is all the matter is all about. What Rock City is seeking to do, he cannot stop it.
You think he's trying to do that?
But I mean, that's his problem. It's a problem of hate and separate Brian Champon from the company Rock City. Miwa Rock City Bekoso. So I say, we bet the Rock City a court and then Brian Champon court. So separate. But even if for political convenience you want to bring it together, speak the truth. Speak the truth. I'm daring him and you no can say Rock City Boka. Me cheni die wa Tasako. Me chena Kosombo Intercontinental Hotel and Rock City. Me the beka on fact. On me can prove it to Ghanaians. His lies and lies. Could do your truth. Oh, hang ni can same chantro. No could be any bossy mukankwa. Na say amakano. Me penny. One penny the Juma Kessia Shemes and family. Echo. Me sansu di domain ni mu ebitifi. Enya won say ma me ni brehu. But enya ni ma na okeka no. Wo di asema ko shraj. Ntimi nkabi. Shraj di on report beba. Nsem na okeka na kesia ni na shraj on report. Minim de amon de beba de. But amon de beba ye na e Ghana. Ye be hu se wo kan no kre ana se wo han kan no kre. E di nseye wo twini pa fa nwem e be kesem tinase. Na ye na e Ghana. Onyankopon ene na ehwe no. Rock City no, I am 100% proudly. Me started 208. I'm starting in kakran. The biamasha omuse omukonkudru no, omkwakudru ontimi inside no. Any intro.
Wow. Must I translate it? Okay, I'm sure many people understand. Tonight we have more on the Rock City versus the demonstrator saga in terms of the divestiture of government interest in state-owned hotels that are organized or that are managed by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. The story is that sometime during this year or last year, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust identified the hotel business, which is a part of their business, to be burdensome. They decided, therefore, that they're going to the markets to look for investors. Somebody has written an article that is interesting. It says that maybe they should have floated those companies on the National Stock Exchange, and it would have been easier and cleaner for anybody to buy it. I kind of sort of agree with that. We'll look at it again in detail as I publish that article tonight. But they went into a bidding process, and tonight we'll be hearing in an interview in the studio how the bidding process was. We'll be sharing documents to indicate who was the highest bidder and who was the lowest bidder. The story, though, is that city people were the highest bidder for 60% stake in 3 or 4 of the hotels: Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Ridge Rock, Cape Coast, I believe Elmina Hotel, something like that. The concern of the demonstrators is that the company that won the bid is a company that has political connections to Brian Achampong in terms of he being the majority shareholder. Mr. Achampong had been in this business before he became a member of parliament and subsequently Minister for National Security and now Minister for Food and Agriculture. The question to be asked is, if a person is in a business right now, if you are in a business right now, many people are in businesses right now, and you become a member of parliament because your people want you to be a member of parliament or because you have an ambition to serve your people one way or the other, and your party is in power, and then you become a minister, can your business participate when government is offsetting some of its interest in companies that you have skilled in? If, for instance, you have a chain of pharmacy shop as a pharmacist, you're an NS chemist or something like that, then you become member of parliament, and then government says that divesting ourselves of our COVID vaccine or the National Vaccination Center, we want people to invest in it. Should your company be able to bid for that or not? That's the question that I think the young people must look at and decide what should be the blueprints going forward. Anyway, we'll have a lot more to do on that tonight. It's actually 17 minutes to the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. Let's get to the text messages now before we take the break. And shall I start with Antoinette? Okay, so Antoinette, what are people saying?
Thank you very much, Paul. Our viewers seem to have a lot to say today. Now, on the Okudzeto-Ablakwa story, Nana also says Okudzeto-Ablakwa is more confused than the NDC's 24-hour economic policy. I knew from the onset that Okudzeto was actually lying. Now, Beja Nuruddin says Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is really raising the bar with the Medical Drones project. This is the future of healthcare industry. Frames K. Kita actually has a long read here. He says, "Dear Paul, I pray my message is read today." Well, your message is being read today. "I am glad you just made us think as a nation. It saddens my heart to calculate how much transportation and accommodation alone eats the larger portion of our small salaries. If we get a good leader like DMB who thinks he can emulate such a gesture and provide decent and affordable accommodation for us, the low salary workers, so we can at least save something small and live a better life. Imagine a cleaner who works at ministries who cannot afford accommodation around Accra Central and is forced to live at Kasua. Imagine the stress of traffic and cost of transport. Indeed, we need a person who thinks about the nation." Now, Kobe Williams says, "How long must we tell our leaders to think deep? One leader is saying 24 economy, but he can't actually explain it better. I have the school of thought that it could be a good thing, but they need to have a good plan for it." Now, Ambitious Atsubiga says, "Training Kayayei who are not nurse in 20 days to know how to develop entrepreneurship job skills that can help them to earn money, and training guinea fowls in the north that flew to Burkina Faso with our taxes gone waste. Which of these will be a reasonable choice? Building a whole training institution and hotel for Kayayei to undertake impactful lives for themselves and families, and using our taxpayers' monies to buy cars and share monies to slay queens. Which of these is a more reasonable choice?" Nana Ekwama Boaten says, "Dr. Bawumia, congratulations to the Kayayei who just graduated from the Kayayei Skills Development Program. We thank the visionary leader, Alhaji Dr. Bawumia, for this intervention." Mame Ifwa says, "Has Paul actually joined the NDC? His dress is actually all about the NDC colors tonight." And Justin Benzema lastly says, "Paul, I am at a loss why the NDC folks are actually up in arms against this brilliant but timely intervention of the government in equipping the Kayayeis with entrepreneurial skills to better their lives and the society. JDM donated headpans and cutlasses to them, so his people are jealous that these people and their families will eventually vote for the visionary DMB to continue this brilliant idea. It is indeed possible with DMB 2024. Over to you, Fatih.
All right, so this is coming from Master Planner Junior from Kentampo, and he says, "Congratulations to all the Kayayei who graduated today. God bless President Nana Akufo-Addo. God bless Dr. Bawumia. God bless Honorable Kofi Ba, the Japan. God bless Kofi Ofusu, and God bless the NPP. Coming from Yusuf Mohammed Muniri says, Dr. Baumia is a symbol of hope to we the youth in the country. The world is turning round to the technology, and we would not allow any incompetent leader to come and mislead us in this country. Till date, no one in the largest opposition political party in Ghana cannot explain to us what, how, and the structure of the 24-hour economy. Now, coming from Martin Amidi Jr., he says, for the transport statement Paul made, I think he should be the next transport minister, only if they will allow him, because there are some people who don't really know more about this. Master Planner Jr. also says, Honorable Ablakwa and his NDC are once again on the same similar agenda they embarked in 2008 to win power. Lies, propaganda, and ruining people's reputation just for political gains. Ghanaians should open their eyes. Baja Nuruddin says Dr. Baumia is a beacon of hope, inspiring confidence with his actions for a better Ghana. His adoption of tech-driven initiatives in Ghana is a testimony of his visionary leadership. Ghana is definitely set for the digital revolution. Kofi William also says, how long must we tell our leaders to think deep? One leader is saying 24-hour economy, but he can't explain it better. I have the school of thought, and it could be a good thing, that they need to have a good plan for it. Lastly, coming from Junior Akbar from Tamale, he says, if you are a citizen in this country and you really love Ghana, you will never think of NDC coming back to take the affairs of this country, because they are our problem in this country.
Ms. Jerry says on the clip between Nana Kwame Bediako, Alan Martin, and George Trill, he says they were discussing how to survive in opposition. Nothing serious. Nana Afuakwa Sikafo says, watch you live from Worcester. Greetings to all our viewers in the UK. And to you, George Forrest, watching us in Cologne, Germany. Saidu Soare on the same clip says, 3 good heads. Lamprey King Rashid says, Pudong is the district capital of Shanghai in China. Yeah, the Pudong memes have been coming in thick and fast. Ambitious says he was telling Alan to let them pair so that he'll be president. Then Alan would be vice. But the other old man was telling him that he's a young man, therefore it'll be wise enough. Alan should be the presidential candidate, whilst Kwame Bediako could be the vice. Anyway, moving on. Jama says, Paul, is it possible to transmit through radio too? It looks like some people want to also be able to listen through the radio. Anyway, Bob Musa says, best TV show ever. Thank you very much. Oh, there's this last message here. Give me a sec. Yes. Richard says, Jakpa is an interesting man, so I'll be glued to my phone. I guess he's watching us on social media. Last 2 messages. Ahmed from Tamale says, exciting times. Oh, Jakpa, he's entangling himself. His lawyers will soon run and leave him. So far, Jemfi and Nketia are already running away. Far away, they have run. Samicha, if you're not commenting on AG WhatsApp chat admitted as exhibits, Ghana they suits more. And lastly, this message with no name says, good evening, Paul. Thank you for the good work you're doing. Please find out from the NDC the Black Star Line ships that they bought for themselves. The Ahoy family is benefiting from the Snit hotels as the NDC. This is according to this message coming in. Anyway, Paul, back to you.
Well, that's all very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so after the break, we'll get to the court, Efia Sewa's court in the grand style, and understand some of the very, very interesting things that came out of the courts today. And then later on, we get full throttle on the SNIT, the divestiture of hotels. But suffice it to say that Dr. Baumia's campaign is still ongoing, and we still have some videos, some fantastic videos from Ashanti region. I don't know whether you watched the Ashanti region and you saw what is for me for 2024's campaign. I think it's the first turnout of Samira Baumia. I think she started the campaign. You know, people have been asking, where is Samira? Where is Samira? I think she started slowly. I saw her in the Ashanti region videos. You know, she was also carrying the steer. She was wearing her white top and her jeans. I think there's a lot more to come. So we'll focus on Dr. Baumia's campaign and show you some photographs as well as part of this show tonight. It's 4 minutes at top of the hour. 10 o'clock, you have a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're on the highway from Efia Sewa's court, Richard Jakpa in the dock.
So what am I watching Papa Piana?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema, I want to go from no one to me, but to my ding one pen. Give us P capsules. Over to us, Mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer, no, not show bottom. Are you bro? Then I found upon a permission about Siamoa as a Niji.
What's on?
No. Nigga nephew, I can't wait. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, see ya ran the wall, swore. Cold did you nip a dream when in our posa a mamma and me my wounja would name wouldn't give us cold capsules. Obey your free
Lawyer.
Give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and they give us free.
Obey Chinasuma.
And men what if you do what you do, Kronquan, give us core capsules. A pin for a battle
3149 or visit our website on www.rehobothsocialhousing.com. Rehoboth, your housing dream becomes a reality.
Ghana for Mama don't yo. Maybe dear Janamba. Dead spices are wood running in every Jackson. And you never know, yeah.
If we come your job, we no use dead spices. We don't go job. If I don't
Taste the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa na yeah.
Noodles the way you go, dead spices.
Just the
one. No more dead spices.
Black tasting like chicken.
Kaji go. But dead spices here what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say yeah the natural spices and yeah Ghana hey Annie, you want all purpose stew, noodles, curry and nutmeg and a jollof. Dead spices. Taste yummy. Taste lemon. Dead spices. Taste day inside. FDIG a jedi in kratoya too.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Eh, baby, a saya webia. Nanso, yare timi sapa dom pemu yare.
Spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bar Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bar Herbal Hospital.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
So what about what your Papa Piana?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema wa holding cough from now on to me to my ding one pem. Give us P capsules. Overdo as a mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you bro? Then na pon me ba be chia mo a ese ni die.
Bosano.
No. Ni de na fi waka wo. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes is yare na wo so. Ko di wu ni pedwem wani na wo posa amaman entimi ma wunja wo nan yi. Unum give us cold capsules. Obey free.
Lawyer.
Give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and they give us free. Obey
Chinasuma.
And men what if you do what you do cronkwan efa. Give us core capsules. A pay for a batter one more menu for an kwada when if you do me nunca.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with free play Friday and swipe bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with cash out and build a bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have smart picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
Her smile, the fresh breath.
Me Gidi say we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
Gaskia, Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa. Kile hosen. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see feeling kikawe Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Okay, text messages have started coming in. Antoinette is ready with something on Budon, but somebody sends me an important message, and I don't know whether it's valuable. His phone number is here. He says, "Good evening, Paul. Speaker Bagbin bought 50 acres of Snit lands in Wa. Snit bought the lands and used part to build a state, demarcated and unused lands, tarred the roads, and sold them to Bagbin when he was the Works and Housing Minister in the prime area of Wa near the UDS campus." I don't know. We can't vouch for that. Those are your views. I don't know whether it's wow. Okay, Antoinette, what is Pudong?
Okay, so can I read something I got in Chinese? 浦东是一个人口稀少的广阔地区，拥有世纪公园和上海迪士尼度假区等。So apparently, Pudong is actually a district in Shanghai. So where I was in China, where I was staying, I was in the Pudong district. But according to what I just read, it's actually true that Pudong has parks, and the parks also has features like bikes. You can go on lake boating, mini golfing, and it also harbors the Shanghai Disney Resort. But that is mostly all there is to the Pudong district. It's just like a particular part of Shanghai. and it's close to the airports, which is why they've named the airport after it, which is why we have the Shanghai Pudong International Airport. So
you said they had which airport?
The Shanghai Pudong International Airport. But Pudong district is like a district in Shanghai, which what I read says it has parks. But it's parks. But not necessarily that they are rearing tigers and lions.
It has like animal parks.
Yeah, parks that people
so there are lions there.
No, people actually go golfing, you know.
Oh, parks for recreation.
Yeah, recreational purposes.
Yeah, maybe there'll be one lion passing by as part of the recreation.
Probably.
And a tiger. Fatih is laughing. What's this? I don't understand why. What is so funny about this video that... All right, viewers, let's get on. Where's my paper? Okay, it's here. All right. Let's get on with it. Well. Justice Efia Sewa. Hey, things are happening in the Ghana court. What is quite unnerving or maybe creating anxiety, if this trial had been on television, I think it would have been very good. For the public interest, it would have been super good. Because the kinds of things... Now, some of the people are sending me texts that Samuel Gyamfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, has refused to hold a press conference, his regular press conference after the Jakpa trial. Because sometime 2 weeks ago, every time after the Jakpa trial, Samuel Gyamfi will hold a press conference. And in fact, the NDC party, led by Johnson Asiedu Ketia, the General Secretary, also had a press conference about the trial in which they played a tape. So one is wondering, and if you know, please ask them. We are waiting for the press conference that usually concludes the trial on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know whether Samuel Gyamfi was in court. Let's check with the reporter. Was Samuel Gyamfi in court? Let's find out. But it was quite interesting. Very, very interesting and somewhat serious. The kinds of things Mr. Jakpa said. So here's our depiction of Efia Sewa's court. Forgive us if there's... the depiction is not complimentary, but I think the graphic designer did a very good job. Just this afternoon, putting this together, it's quite good, isn't it? There's a lot of talent in Ghana among young people. Plenty of talent. Look at this. It's quite nice, isn't it? You know, the red, gold, greens at the back, even though it's showing black and white and black. And that's just Efia Sewa and the trial. So what happened today? As we call it, latest on the ambulance case. So 3 things happened today in the trial. The admission of tapes in evidence, and then issue on alleged misconduct of the AG in forcing Jakpa to testify. That's where a lot of issues came up at that side. And then the third one, the attack on Seth Tekpe and the late Kayayei. I mean, Richard Jakpa, I don't know whether he's insensitive to culture. Kayayei has passed to eternal glory, former Minister of State who served Ghana well for many, many years. And then you sit in court and say she's evil. Evil. Use the word evil for Seth Tekpe, the former finance minister, the same Seth Tekpe who testified for him. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get to part 3. Let's categorize it properly. So part 1, admission of evidence. That was the first shocker. Those of you who have been following social media, our Facebook page, we were so surprised that sometime about 1 o'clock we put it up. Richard Jakpa has tendered tapes to the court. He has. Text messages. He had exchanged text messages with the Attorney General. He intended to submit the text messages to the court to suggest that and build a case against the Attorney General, that Attorney General had used underhand dealings to prosecute, and therefore the whole system, the courts should agree on a mistrial and then get him off. He doesn't want to be prosecuted, etc., etc. In doing so, he submits text messages to show that this is his case. The court then asked him that the text message you submitted is not the entire text messages between the Attorney General, as we discussed on Tuesday. He said, well, I submitted what I want to use to do my case. You can also submit. Attorney General attempted to submit on Tuesday. The lawyers said that it is not in color. The judge said it doesn't matter. And then they said they wanted to study it. The judge said you can study it. So today they came to court having studied it, and they raised objection. And they will not allow the Attorney General to tender the rest of the text messages. I've never seen something like that before. A set of text messages exchanged between 2 people. 68 text messages exchanged. Jakpa tenders 14, representing 25%. And the Attorney General says, okay, no problem. I'm happy to tender the rest of the 75%, including what you have already tendered. It will still be in my own. So I'm tendering to the court 100%, which includes the 25% that you already have. And Jakpa admits that, yes, there were several text messages between me and Attorney General, but most of it was motivational message. Every morning I sent to him, God bless you, and don't worry about your enemies. You go forward and soar like an eagle, and those things, Psalm 91 and Psalm 134 and something like that. That's what he said. That he's been sending the text message, to the Attorney General. He's been sending motivational messages to the Attorney General. As we go on in this narration, you will see him describe himself with having some spiritual power. So I'm not so sure what kind of motivational messages he was sending, but you'll see that. And then the court said, okay, no problem. Whether it's motivational messages or not, we understand. But you accept that the text message that you sent was short of the whole? He said, yes, it was. Okay. Attorney General says, here is the whole. Then lawyers for Jakpa says, we don't like it. You cannot tender the whole. I don't understand it. The lawyers for Jakpa says they will not allow the Attorney General to tender the rest of the text messages. That is what Adiosori told the court today. He will not allow it. He is objecting to it. Text message that you have tendered some. I am bringing the rest. They said, no, they won't allow it. Viewers. Well, the judge is here to determine. But in any case, thank God, the judge overruled them. And so the text messages were admitted. That's the first thing that surprised people today. So the text messages were admitted. It says the court admitted the tapes into evidence, the text into evidence because they were relevant and had no issue of authenticity. That is to say, there was no authenticity problem. On the backdrop of the fact that Jakpa admitted that he did not tender all the evidence. This is the basis on which the court overruled the objection that was raised by lawyers for Tadiosori. We don't lawyers for Francis Jakpa Tadiosori. We don't know whether they intend to repeat this application in the Court of Appeal, where they could go and say that the trial judge erred in admitting the rest of the text messages and therefore the appeal against. Let's wait and see what happens. But they were overruled on this one. So the messages have been admitted into evidence on the basis that they were relevant and that they have no problem with authenticity because the court has looked at it and look, it seems authentic. And it is on the backdrop that Jakpa himself has tendered part of what you are saying you will not allow. And the part that you say you will not allow, Jakpa also has evidence of it. So why won't you allow it? Viewers, are we understanding, are we getting to the meat of the matter? The people don't want the text. They have tendered some. This is the rest of it. The rest of it is on their phone as well. They can easily say, no, this one was not part of it. That is why they were given 48 hours to study it. It was given to them on Tuesday. Study it because your client Jakpa has it on his phone. So take the printout and check with Jakpa's phone. Did he say, hey, how are you? I like your red tie. I like your red tie. How are you? How are you? Is the traffic bad? Is the traffic bad? You can just compare and look at it and see that this is authentic one. They were given 48 hours to do that. They were not able to come to court to say that, hey, this word has been omitted from this one. They were not able to say that. Just that they will not allow the document to be tendered. They were overruled. So that has gone into the evidence. We'll see what weight will be put on it and then we can move on. All right. Then the next one. Whether the AG forced Jakpa to testify, etc., etc. Okay. So Francis Richard Jakpa told the court that he sent documents to the Attorney General by phone when they met in Justice Kulendi's house. And that it is these documents that Attorney General was using to prosecute him. So today he came into the witness box. And then the Director for Public Prosecutions was with him. And Director of Public Prosecutions said that, Mr. Jakpa, you have told this court that you sent documents to the Attorney General and it is these documents that are being used to prosecute you. He said, yes, I said that. It's true. He said, okay, take a look at these documents. So he looked at them. Are these the documents? He said, yes. Then the DPP told him that, I'm suggesting to you that these documents were filed on the 29th of March. Were filed on the 16th of March. And then your conversation, your sending to the Attorney General was on the 29th of March. So by the time that you were sending it to the Attorney General, it had already been filed in court. Then he was there. He was in the witness box. You said you sent these documents, and it's these documents that have been used. Okay, the dates show that whilst your allegation claimed on 29th of March, the Attorney General filed these same documents on the 16th of March. So you see, when you are dealing with lawyers and Attorney Generals, you send a document to them, they will not say anything. They will, yeah, okay, thank you. They won't tell you that, oh, this document, I already have it, I filed it. Lawyers don't do that. Serious lawyers don't do that. So I think that's what confused him. When he sent the documents, Attorney General didn't say that, oh, I already have it. So he thought, he's boldly, if he are seeing the kind of person they may have been dealing with. I think by now they are getting it. I think they are getting it. But anyway, let's read it. Jakpa earlier claimed that on 29th of March, the Attorney General assured him that he will let him go scot-free. Oh, sorry, this is about the submission of no case. I'll come to the text message in a minute. This is about the submission of no case. The date I used is submission of no case. Jakpa earlier claimed that on the 29th of March, the Attorney General assured him that him go scot-free at the submission of no case if he testifies against Atuforsen. However, the Attorney General had already, on the 16th of March, filed a document saying that Jakpa indeed had a case to answer. So it's very similar, but this is about submission of no case. So on submission of no case, Jakpa told the court that Attorney General assured me on 29th of March that my submission of no case will be upheld by the court, or that he will not oppose my submission of no case. Really, that's what the Attorney General can do. The Attorney General cannot assure him that the court will sustain his submission of no case. The Attorney General can assure him that he will not oppose it, because opposing the submission of no case or not is within the Attorney General's power. What the verdict the court will give is not within the Attorney General's power. So Jakpa was suggesting that the Attorney General promised him that he will not oppose the submission of no case. But by the 29th month that he was talking to Attorney General, the Attorney General had already filed his documents in 16th of March opposing the submission of no case. He had already opposed the submission of no case on 16th of March. Jakpa says on 29th of March, he told him that he will not oppose it, but the thing had already been filed. So they are trying to suggest to Jakpa in the witness box that maybe you are not being truthful to the court. Maybe you're not being truthful. But the judge will look at all of those things in some detail. This was one of the shocking ones. We'll come this one and the spiritual one. They were the shocking ones. Here it is. Attack on Setekpe Kayayei. Jakpa said on the stand that former Finance Minister Setekpe was an evil man who was against the transaction. This is contrary to earlier claims by Atuforsen that Setekpe was one who approved the LC and the transaction. Viewers, what are we going to do with this? How do the lawyers feel about this? Richard Jakpa, the same guy who gave Johnson Asedun Ketia and Samuel Jamefi a tape to organize a press conference against the Attorney General and therefore political purposes, he says that Setekpe, the former finance minister, who is potentially maybe in the event that the NDC win, incoming finance minister again, that man Setekpe is an evil man. Forget about the circumstance of Setekpe's politics and think about Richard Jakpa's psychology. Setekpe had already been in court, this trial, same trial, to testify in favor of Richard Jakpa. I don't know whether he doesn't know or he didn't get it like that. Setekpe had been a witness for the defense. He had been invited to the court as witness. He had been cross-examined by the Attorney General. He had insisted that it was he who authorized the transaction. He had added to the material, the defense document of the defense. Setekpe has spoken in favor of the defense. Setekpe has spoken in favor of the first accused, Atuforsen, second accused, and the third accused. He has been discharged by the court. Richard Jakpa mounts the witness box in cross-examination, says the same Setekpe is an evil man and he was against the transaction. The Attorney General, in cross-examining Setekpe, has suggested to Setekpe that this transaction didn't come from you. This transaction came so moto from Atuforsen. And Setekpe told the Attorney General, no, it came from me. Attorney General says, no, Mr. Finance Minister, it did not come from you because of even the way the documents have been described to the Chief Director. The letter that went to the Chief Director went from Deputy Finance Minister. Setekpe said, no, it is from me. It is not from Atuforsen. Attorney General said, no, it's from Atuforsen. He said, no, it's from me. Okay. Argument over. Setekpe is discharged. Setekpe's testimony recorded in the court documents. Then Richard Jakpa comes. He says Setekpe is an evil man and he was against the transaction. Viewers, are we together? Are we together? Setekpe says that I am with the transaction. Attorney General says you were not with the transaction, Mr. Setekpe. You were not. This is Atuforsen acting alone. Somoto acting alone. Setekpe says no. He was acting under my authority. And I have authority as Minister of Finance to do the LC. Attorney General says, okay, I don't think so, but okay. So Setekpe is gone. Weeks later, Richard Jakpa, the third accused, says Setekpe was against the transaction. I think the judge is going to have some interesting matters to deal with when she comes to write her ruling. It says Setekpe is against the transaction. Attorney General thought that Setekpe was not with the transaction. Setekpe told the court that he is fully with the transaction. Richard Jakpa says that Setekpe was against the transaction. He's an evil man. That Kayayei is an evil man. This is the kind of witness who is the third accused. That is him. This is the same person who managed to get the whole hierarchy of the National Democratic Congress, serious political party in opposition, big political party. This man, Richard Jakpa, was able to gather them in a room. Samuel Jemfi, the propaganda secretary, Fifi Kwete, the general secretary, Johnson Asedu Ketia, the national chairman. He put them together, sent them to go and do a press conference. Richard Jakpa is a powerful guy. He whipped them, go and do a press conference. They all lined up on Tuesday. They did press conference. They had a tape. Richard Jakpa, Asedu Ketia, are you listening? Jakpa says, your finance minister, Tekpe, is an evil man. You see, truth, you cannot hide it. Truth, you can't hide it. The light will always shine over the darkness. Light, it will always shine over the darkness. There's no darkness that can outshine light. And people will be speaking in a certain way that you will wonder what is happening if your heart is clean. If your heart is clean. People will be speaking a certain way. You wonder what is happening. Why is Sami Jemfi today? Why is he not defending Richard Jakpa's statements in court anymore? Why is Sami Jemfi's press conference, the post-court press conference, where is it? Why is it not happening anymore? He's in town. He's at the office. He's there. It's not happening anymore. Why is it not happening anymore? What's going on? Okay, this is the final part, I believe. Richard Jakpa says that let's look at the text before we come to the depiction, please. Can you just put the text on? Let's read the text and then we come to the depiction. Okay, the text is as follows. Jakpa said in open court that because the Attorney General was bent on prosecuting him, despite his innocence, he, Jakpa, had declared war on the Attorney General. And that if the Attorney General will use his legal skills to prosecute him, he, Jakpa, would be using his underworld skills to deal with the Attorney General. Jakpa also claimed that he will use the streets to exact vengeance on the Attorney General, whether or not he is acquitted at the end of the trial. In other words, Jakpa has confirmed to the court that he has a personal vendetta against the Attorney General and could do anything to destroy the Attorney General. This is what Jakpa said. Some of it is our own words, but essentially he said that if the Attorney General was going to use his legal skills to prosecute him, he, Jakpa, would be using his underworld skills to deal with the Attorney General. He also claimed that he will use the streets to exact vengeance on the Attorney General. This is the guy who the record showed that the military asked him to leave. And is it now sort of coming together, people to understand the person that we're dealing with? I'm very sorry for Johnson Asedu Ketia, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress. You know, it reminds me of Dr. UN. You remember that guy? Dr. UN came and lined up all kinds of people. All kinds of people. Very, very important people. Gave them award. Everybody was collecting it. Take award. Take. And then they salute. Then they take picture. Award. Take. Award. Take. Dr. UN gave them awards. Everybody gave the award and learned to laugh at all of them. How come they all didn't know that Dr. UN was going to UN them? How did Johnson Asedu Ketia not know that this individual who was railroading him into a press conference should be looked at properly? That his testimony should be looked at properly. Today they've just abandoned him and run away. We will not allow them to run away. We want them to come and explain to us why they backed the guy and why they are running away. Sami Jemfi, now this is what politics is about. When you take a political position, you must be responsible to explain it to the people because you are asking for the people's mandate. Sami Jemfi was doing press conference every day after court. Today he has stopped. Why has he stopped? Were we not told that in the fullness of time, everything will unravel and good will triumph over evil? In the fullness of time, everything will unravel and good will triumph over evil. That's about it for today. We will be in court again on Tuesday, the next agenda. This is going to be very interesting. Let's get to text messages and see what people are saying. We come back, we are going straight into the conversations about, Brian Achampon and Okudzeto Ablakwa, both of them members of parliament. We'll see that very, very soon. Text messages now. I start with Antoinette. Is that correct? Okay, Antoinette.
What are they saying?
Thank you. So, Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says, in fact, Mr. Paul makes this court issue so easier to comprehend. Ghanaians are so grateful to you and the team. Bright Edu Asari says Setekbe is implicated in this case. He is aiding and abetting criminal activity. Andrew Owosu says the whole Jakpa drama is actually just to delay the trial. It has no substance, and it actually had no substance from the beginning. Watching you from USA. Thanks for tuning in. NS Stream says, why is the Rock City man not suing the NP for lying and inciting the public against him and his business? Now, Safiano Adam says, good evening, Paul and your crew. From digital forensics point of view, I hope both WhatsApp chats from both parties will be authenticated through an independent digital forensics examination that will have hash values attached to them. If that is not done, any of the parties involved can come up with a fake WhatsApp chat generated using fake WhatsApp chat generation applications available. Now, Raymond Enso says, good evening, Paul. Dakpa is facing credibility issues. If he has a strong case, why is he pleading the Attorney General to drop the charges? My sympathies to Justice Kulendi, who is being dragged into this mess. The credible Attorney General of Ghana will continue to be blessed by God. Now, Samuel Prekese says, Jakpa, why would you like to protect and defend sector at the expense of destroying the Attorney General? That will not work. Trouble is facing you big time. Now, lastly, Hajib Sadiq says it is true that Jakpa is only trying to filibuster the court proceedings because in only one case he has actually changed 4 lawyers, and today he has changed his court correspondence from Sami Jemfi to Felix Kwake. Now over to you.
All right, so coming from Harun Al-Hassan, says, Mr. Paul, I'm watching you live in Tamale. In fact, NDC cannot win an election in this country because Ghanaians have lost credibility in them. DMB is a generational thinker, competent, intelligent, and a leader with pretty integrity. In fact, DMB is not corrupt, and he has never been. JM has nothing to offer Ghanaians, so never again. Felix Appiah says, after all these evidence, NDC will still find a way to deceive their followers. Now, Yao Marvin also says, Paul, now that the NDC enthusiasm in the Jakpa tape has gotten missing all of a sudden through the cross-examination from the AG, let us understand that liars, no matter what form it takes, can never last in the face of the truth and fact. The righteous is indeed prevailing in the court. Coming from Franklin Osei Owusi says, the whole thing was planned. Haruna Ijesu and Alhaji Muntaka were sacrificed for Asuforson with the notion that with him in that powerful position of minority leader, he will escape justice. Very simple. It ain't gonna work. Forson must face justice. Now, Ajiwuddin Nana Kofi says, Patriotic Voices, a party whose presidential candidate has made promise to fight corruption, finds same as comfort because one of their own is before the law. Very sad for this country. NDC is very hypocritical. Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says, if Honorable Sami Jemfi is ready, he should update or hold a press conference tomorrow to update us on the Atuforcing ambulance trial and Jakpa's cross-examination in the court. The NDC thinks court cases can run simultaneously with press conferences. And lastly, coming from Harry Mercer, he says, good evening, Paul. Please, Jakpa, meaning in Yoruba is escaping from a place that is uncomfortable or escaping through a place that will bring about punishment. Now, Baumia's legacy says, while our Black Hawk professes to be a champion of state interest, his hypocrisy is laid bare in his silence during the dubious sale of Merchant Bank to Ibrahim Mahama, brother of former President John Mahama, as well as the questionable allocation of 56% of the Ghana's bauxite resources to the same family. Ablakwa's inconsistency in his advocacy and principles expose his allegiance as being more political than ethical. Rather than acting as a savior, his misleading rhetoric and selective activism only serves to further confound the issue. T1.
Okay, Lorento Cody asks, Paul, when are you going to interview Cheddar? Looks like people are very, very interested to see that. It might come. George Darko says, Dr. Arthur, the face of the 24-hour economy. In fact, the memes on this have been very, very unforgiving. Nana Kofi brings in a Google summary. It says Pudong is a sprawling, sparsely populated area with family attractions like the Century Park, offering bike trails, boating lakes, and a mini golf course, as well as the Shanghai Disney resorts. Now, Kofi Mensah watching from Takrady says, Paul, please make a documentary on all the state assets they bought for themselves in the name of divestiture. Harry Mensah says, good evening, Paul. Please, Jakpa, meaning in Yoruba, is escaping from a place that is uncomfortable or escaping through a place that will bring you punishment. I don't know what you are suggesting. Akasokre Joseph, on the earlier Kayayei graduation, says, if you insist 20 days are enough to learn how to do makeup, let them try it on Hajja Samira and let's see. In response to this, Timu or Boating says, in the UK, we used only 4 days to graduate as security officers. What are you talking about? Even 1 month for makeup artists is too much. I don't know if you agree. Again, Nate Jokshan replies, I used 10 minutes to learn how to use the concatenate function on Microsoft Excel. He says that alone helped me earn so much money. Lastly, on one of the memes coming in on Pudong, Nate Jokshan says, the National Association for Lions and Wild Animal Rearers is calling on all well-meaning members of our country to support the 24-hour Pudong policy. He says, we're going to rear pythons to give you for free. Too many jokes coming on this Pudong saga. Anyway, Paul, back to you.
All right, let's get on back onto the touch screen just before we hit the interview. So what are we trying to do now? We are trying to investigate the concerns that Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and his people went onto the streets to do. Is there something else over here? Went onto the streets to demonstrate against the acquisition. Now, this is some of the documents that we obtained from the Senate people. And it shows I think this is Labadi Beach Hotel, which is one of the best performing. And it shows that over the last 10 years and beyond, Labadi Beach Hotel has paid 48 million Ghana cedis as dividend on profits made to government. This one is also La Palm Royal Beach, which for 13 years in review, nothing has come to government. This one is the document that came out publicly where the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, were publishing that they are looking for interest for investment in SNIT-owned hotels. This was in Daily Graphic. What's the date again? I get it. Thursday, February something. It's Thursday, February something, 2023 or so. SNIT actually published it. So it's not true that this was done surreptitiously or this was done. The people, the SNIT people, let me have the graphic again. Yeah, thank you. The TUC people who were concerned about it, and rightly so they should be, maybe they should have raised their concerns at this time when the document came into the graphic, because this is the process of transparency. SNIT needed to publish it, and they did. It's showing here. They published it. Okay. Let's come to Yasako's article, and then I'll go to Adenta Kumi for the comment. So Yasako is a Ghanaian who lives abroad. He's worked in Unilever for a long time. He sent this article, I think, across his social media. I told his people that I was going to read it. Burning and looting in the city. Let's carefully go through and see. He says, the looting of core state properties in opaque circumstances. The opaque circumstances means not transparent. By those with political power, is a route to the very capture of that state. In the end, it is likely to lead to the negation of all pretenses at democracy. Okay, let's move on. Therefore, he says, the criteria of disclosure for the purchase of state property by senior state actors ought to be made very, very high. The criteria for disclosure. That's very important. And I like the way Yasako is putting it. He's not beginning to judge somebody left or right. He's beginning to put together a model that if we can go through this model, we are fine. It doesn't mean Brian Champo cannot participate. It doesn't mean X cannot participate. But if you want to participate, let's design a model for them. And he says here that the criteria for disclosure for the purchase of state property by senior actors ought to be made very clear. He says, in my view, it has been treated too casually by our political culture. This is something that bears all the hallmarks of related party transactions. It goes on. While I do not subscribe to the outright ban on PEPs from participating in legitimate business, well, we cannot have an outright ban on private sector people participating in legitimate business. So yes, if I'm a politician and I have a business and there's some opportunity with government, should I not participate in it? He says that he does not subscribe to an outright ban on it. If somebody's a businessman before, there will always be people who are businessmen before they become politics. It's always going to be like that. The American Vice President, Dick Cheney, George Bush's vice president, works with his family business. The people who do the big biz, that's his business. When he was Heinz, when he was vice president of America, they bid for a contract to go to Iraq to supply Heinz to the American military. He was the vice president. His boss was the commander-in-chief. They won it. And is it because he has left his family business, Heinz, to become vice president, so they shouldn't work? I think that's the point he's making here, that he does not subscribe to an outright ban on these things. In participating in legitimate business, such activity must be accompanied, he says, by the strict governance protocols. Public service is not a genetic obligation. Those who want privacy in business should simply stay out of political office. There, I do not quite agree with him. Well, you can want privacy in business, but if we were going to lay our golden eggs for them to be decision makers in politics, you will have some people who have done well in private sector coming into politics. You have that in South Africa. You have that almost everywhere. I'm talking about Dick Cheney right now. So is it because when somebody is a successful businessman, then he should never come into politics because he will do business one way or the other with government? It's a decision we have to take. And it doesn't seem that there's anything corrupt about it. But some political people can use that all the time. Because they are politicians, they want to use something to win votes. So they'll say that, oh, look at him. He's done Yeah, that's what they say. But if I have a business is already thriving before I become a politician, or that my business is thriving means I cannot become a politician. If I'm a doctor and I'm a successful doctor, I have a private hospital, one in Kumasi, one in Accra, one in here, and I become a politician. And then they make me Minister of Interior. And then government is divesting its interest of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. They advertise for it. I said, no, I can do this. Then they said, no, you are a politician now, so you can't. I don't think that's the way to go. That's what he says that we shouldn't do. But let's move on. Asset declaration protocols. These are some of the ways he thinks that we can straighten it. Asset declaration protocols of self and close relatives, properly defined so people do not loot and then start under other names, need to be implemented. So asset declaration protocols need to be implemented. These ones are already there, Mr. Isako. They're already there. Then a very high bar must be placed on the disclosure of intent to sell and the sale itself by law. Yes, I agree with that as well. I think that when Senate were proposing this matter, perhaps we should have seen the opinion of the Attorney General on government's decision to divest itself of some of its own properties. But maybe they should have obtained the view of the Attorney General and a prescription of how this should be done from the principal legal advisors to the government. Maybe Senate should have done that. I don't know whether they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. They have not said that yet. Maybe they got their own lawyers to do. Maybe they got some lawyers to evaluate it. Because if you are divesting the state of its interest in a property, it is a transaction that needs legal spectacles to look at it in some particular detail. So maybe that should have happened. Let's move on. It says that at the minimum, beneficiaries of such transactions, I suggest, should be compelled by law to disclose financial contributions made to the political parties and political actors. Financial contributions made to political parties can be disclosed, but what is financial contributions made to political actors? That I don't quite understand. Maybe Mr. Insaku must come back on this one. He says financial contributions to political parties must be disclosed. But in Ghana, Ghana is not Europe, you know, and it's not America where contributions to political parties is stated in the company's document, and then like the way you see the company's CSR, you can see contribution to political parties. He worked at Unilever. If Unilever were to donate to political party, they won't show it. They don't write that. And the way Ghanaian politics is, so Brian Achampong is at home. The boys come to him and say that, Charlie, we are going to do demonstration. We need Pito. Then he gives them 2 CDs for Pito. Then he gets to Mamprobe, going to visit a friend. They say, oh, Brian, election here, we are doing MPP rally here. Can you give us some money? Then he gives them money. Is that what he should be calculating and call it political contributions and be able to show? I mean, that's going to be very difficult in a situation like Ghana. And also, political contributions to political actors. Do we give contributions to political actors? Okay, well, maybe the national communication officer comes to his house and says, so I'm organizing communication training, give me money. I mean, yeah, but this is suggestion. The reason why I'm putting all this across is that as a country, we need to understand where we are going and how we are getting there. So some of these things, we need to begin to put them in proper models. So everybody is bringing that idea about this is what it should be done. It's a better way than when Ablakwa files something as Shraj. When Shraj is yet to hear the matter, then he goes on demonstration and is castigating people and calling their name. The same things he did to Beche Bilamte. That's not the way to go. That certainly cannot be the way to go. The way to go is to think about the process. And that's why somebody sends me text and said, oh, but Speaker Bagmin too did some. He bought Senate land. Then it becomes equalization. And somebody will say, oh, when Kwame Hepra was chairman of Senate, he gave airport land to his friends. Then somebody will say that equalization is not important. If we have a system and a model that works, then we understand that, okay, you have failed this criteria or you fell short of this criteria. That's the way I believe that these things should go. And that's why we are looking at this article. He says also that I fail to understand also why state-owned business intending to flog assets on their books do not go through the Ghana Stock Exchange. That approach will deepen the market, build the muscles of the exchange, and bring greater transparency that enables broad participation. I think he's made an excellent point there, and this is not the first time. I don't know whether the Senate people must have tested. The stock exchange is not doing that well at this time. But we know that when Ghana Commercial Bank wanted to divest itself of interest, they went on the Ghana Stock Exchange. So GCB is a listed company through the Ghana Stock Exchange where some people have bought shares. So we do that. So we know that. We know that we can do that. It didn't happen in this Senate transaction. And maybe you can say that, but perhaps this thing is so unattractive that if you put on stock exchange, it won't work. You have to get people that you can come for tender and look at it. This evening, we'll look at the tender documents of what happened in the entire structure. All right, let's move on. Final paragraph, I believe. Yarinsaku says, when too often beneficiaries of such transactions are from the party in power, it is understandable that anxiety breeds cynicism and vice versa. He says, however, this is the most important part. Shraj, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, should move quickly to establish the facts through a diligent process as regards the current matter of the sale of hotels by SNIT. Until that is done, no one is guilty, nor will even the innocent be free. It is the facts that can lead to informed decisions on whether the divestiture of the hotel is, in principle, right or wrong. This is very interesting, and this is what I support. He says that until Shraj has come to the conclusion, no one is guilty, and the innocent are also not free. The innocent, the so-called innocent, they are Black people. They have $3 million houses. They are the innocent. But they are not free until Shraj comes out with a decision and nobody is guilty. Let's build a country devoid of taking advantage of politics and advantage of politics. Anyway, play me back that video, the one that Brian was talking to Nana Habre for, whilst we get ready to hear the details from Adenta Kumi in the studio. Play the video for me.
Losses, and there was a demonstration and you're making losses, and then Labadi should rather rescue you and not Roskiti rescuing Labadi.
Well, first of all, Obia Ogana Hanim say Roskiti, I mean, Sanu Ejuma. Siadi, me a minister, me MP.
Yes.
Auntie, I know, but Roskiti, the minimum say, Omo Moka. Obia any hobbit me account, baby, I say Roskiti.
You are not making losses.
Well, me who could you turn in Samijafi?
Yes.
I was studio Maha when Neo Kuja to Shebata career Kemna Rock City is making losses were intercepted documents from GI or intercepted document Pia. The Okikeni Nini
from GRA.
Me say Nanaya
serial number.
Me say Nini
na and
signing Minyaba. Bibia ni wa Kuja to can was asking me one year. In Tronkwanu try. In the first place, Rock City, Mama Maso asked one thing, and my check or GRE say, filing on 2023 taxes. I was almost filing by June ending. Into Munyam filing. Into could to intercepted document there with GRE. Rock City focus on 209C GRE, no matter filing taxes. I'm filing the end of the month. Into your document anyway. On your document in GRE, Bibia said you a contumpo bosremuka in pro.
Nothing at all.
There's nothing. In
2022, no losses.
Me see, 2022 Rock City did not make losses. But he was categorical.
With 2023.
So what intercepted documents.
Yes.
Emma serial number, yes. Emma file number, Emma
the person who signed off sample.
Me see, GRE. Rock City has not even filed their 2023 taxes. It's due June ending. Into Nyawe. I am trying one note, and I'm daring you. I'm daring him. So see what documents a Chester Rock City 2023. I finally was GRA and made losses on Famra. Me will fear be war Trasaku, me Nusukra. Me told 2014. Me the best channel.
If there's a proof.
Me see on Famra Ghana for Nani ma dance for. So to me, the Rock City 2023 accounts, Basel Rock City is making losses. Now Shabatarina making losses on Famra. Mrs. Hafi me the best channel on pair. NGO be a charity be Opibiano. Me Ghanaians are dying at the amount. On his orders, Ghana for Nani dance for. In fact, Nanaya, or the conference in Lofton, Rock City or hotel back war. Akosombo Intercontinental Hotel. A Rock City there. Or call the crew more to me prove Sa hotel, remember Rock City for assign their money. He should prove it. You see, or Hineni, na me a minister. Me MP, me di domini, me nkasa bebre. Enyema na okani nyina yentro. Ha ni na me competition charge, and na me di way fa ha. My emergency say be say nkwala di agro wa anwemu a. Me mfa me ho nkwaye den, enkoka ho. Nti na maka manu atum. Enya say me ni baby ka. Rock City Hotel, and then so hotels are one kind. Kempinski, 269 rooms. Moving Peak, 260 rooms. Labadi, 160 rooms. Holiday Inn, 160 rooms. Your friend is saying Fiesta Royale. Okay, Casa hotels I can see one kind na bomwa. And then improve their Rock City in terms of number of rooms. Rock City has about 1,000 rooms now. Can hotels say what my body now can the number of rooms or more? They are not even close to Rock City.
I see you are not paying taxes.
But I'm saying that Rock City, I'll come to that. Rock City is building over 3,000 rooms today there. What are you talking about? We are not paying taxes. This is a company that is paying VAT and paying taxes almost about 100,000, equivalent to $100,000 almost every month. What are you talking about? They don't pay taxes. Check from GRA, check from SNIT. Put all the Rock City hotels in Ghana, Akosombo, in Kumasi, in Accra, in Takoradi, and check whether they are not paying taxes. You see, the lies, I don't have any problem him doing his politics. Oh yeah, the politics in and family. Minkasa, I'm not going to go near the kinds of lies that he tells. But to be categorical on TV as an ordinary man and put it in a way, sometimes it's quite annoying. And
Labadi is making about 158 million and gains.
I'm not going to
and that you're not making anything.
But I'm saying that Rock City is expanding to be the biggest hotel in Africa. In all the 16 regions, 54 markets in Ghana, and hopefully take the brand international. He cannot bring it down. That is all the matter is all about. What Rock City is seeking to do, he cannot stop it.
You think he's trying to do that?
But I mean, that's his problem. It's a problem of hate and separate Brian Champo from the company Rock City. Miwa Rock City Bekoso. So I say, Ubetimin the Rock City Akoko and Neon Brian Champo and Koko so separate. But even if for political convenience you want to bring it together, speak the truth. Speak the truth. I'm daring him and Nema no can say Rock City Boka. Mecheni die or Tasako. Mechena Kusumbu Intercontinental Hotel and Rock City. May the better on fact. Prove it to Ghanaians. His lies and lies. Could they do your truth? Or Hangani can same chantro. No could be any bossy Mukankwa. Nasena Makano. Me a penny. Mampeni de Tuma Kessiashem, and a family. Echo. Messansu di Dominimu a beautiful. And there was a mammy Bremo. But a young name now, Okikano. What they are some Shraj, into me, Kabi. Shraj on report, Beba. The seven Okikana Kessiaki seen a Shraj on report. Minim the only baby, but only the baby in Ghana. You been who so can cray, and as a one can cray. It didn't say, yeah, Utini Pafa name a better Tennessee. Now, you know Ghana, when you coupon in a Rock City, no, I am 100% proudly. Me started 208. I'm starting in kakran. Baby, I'm not sure Muse Omukonkudru, Omkakudru, Ontimin and an intro.
Adenta Kumi is in the studio. you made some very interesting allegations the other day. We're still checking it to see whether it's true. So we are checking at the Lands Commission and all that. Today, we want you to tell us, you've been looking at the SNIT divestiture process about the hotels. What do you know?
So, good evening, Paul, and good evening to your cherished viewers. So, Paul, it has to be on record that since 2012, when the former MD for SNIT, Ernest Thompson, was in power under the NDC regime, they've been looking for investors. Only God knows why they didn't get investors. But
no, is there a letter that says that they were looking for investors at that time?
I'll give you those documents after.
Okay.
There's a bunch of documents. Then let me just submit it to you. Then you have a look at.
So this, what is it? This is a hotel. What is this?
So there's a history from SNIT about the document, what has been going on for a period of time.
When was this document developed? The one I'm
this one was developed just within, let me say,
for the process,
2 months.
Okay.
And when the process started, so it's a combination of historical antecedents at what has happened at SNIT and what's going on now. So what happens is that a new government comes in 2017. SNIT, so then they have to constitute a new board. The board looks into things and says that we need a strategic investor, not a strategic buyer. That's the difference we need to make clear. They are not selling the SNIT hotels outright. They are coming in with a strategic.
What's the role of this investor?
So that's a very important thing that Ghanaians must understand. One, someone who has a track record, someone who has the technical experience, and someone who can take the SNIT hotels to a world-class standard. That has been the vision of the new board, that they are revamping the SNIT hotels, because some of the SNIT hotels have really been suffering, and people think it's all about profit. I can tell you that I can have an asset that will be making me profit, but the most important thing about every asset is performance. The performance of the assets. Let me give you an example with an Airbnb. Let's say I've owned an Airbnb for 5 years. I don't do any maintenance. When I started, people were coming. The reviews on social media and everything was good. But people have been using the sink, the bed. Now the bed is shaking. It's making noise. The bulbs are kind of looking old. The mattress is kind of old. But yes, people will come. I'll still make money to pay maybe by the caretaker or let me say electricity bills. But the question is, what is the value of the product now? Has it increased? I'm making profits. But what's the performance? Profit against performance. So if you listen to Honorable Baine Champon, when allegations that some of the hotels are making profit, there's only one hotel, which is Labadi Beach, that has made 48 million in 15 years. The records are there to show. So profit against performance is not equal.
Okay, let's come back to the strategic interest, because that's what people are interested in.
Yes.
So what does SNIT do in terms of the bidding process? What happened?
So SNIT decided that they needed an independent transaction advisor, someone devoid of politics or anything. And they decided that, okay, this must be public for everybody to be able to tender. And the good thing that SNIT did was that they did not just advertise on their website. I think Ghanaian Times and also this Daily Graphic. But they went further to advertise on this international platform called The Economist. Because you have a lot of business and experts reading Economists all over the world. And Economists, when they feature you, they'll put it on their website, their YouTube, and also on their magazine.
So while they advertise internationally and locally?
Yes. Then they get the advisor. I think that was somewhere 2022 or 2018.
Who was the advisor?
I can't tell who the advisor was.
Okay.
Yes. If I say I know who the advisor was.
It's not in the documents?
It's not, no, it's not in the document. Okay. It wasn't something that I was actually interested in.
Okay.
So SNIT goes on to say that, okay, so moving forward, we need to send, after the advisor has done all his necessary work by 2022, he says that, okay, we want to now send people who are interested in coming to become the strategic partner to come in. I've heard questions of someone saying that why didn't we float shares, which is a very important question. But you have to understand that what Smith is looking for is someone who has the operational expertise, one, and two, someone who's also bringing the capital. If it was just about capital, they would have floated the shares. But management of the asset to go to another level is something Smith is looking at. That the hotels will have a certain standard that people will be attracted to.
Let's get into the tender. Then what happened?
So the tender goes on. Then, Senior, what happens is that you have 9 people coming in. I said 9 companies coming in. Then Smith reduces the number to 6 after the first tendering process. That's a short list. Then it goes on again, and documentation and other things proves that it's only 3 people that can really compete for this. So I have the 3 people and the value that they bring to the table. In total, if somebody can allege that there's a conflict of interest or there's a wrong that Smith is, should I say, conniving with Rock City, then it should be in 2 instances where the money that, or let me say the bid that Rock City bidded for their assets is lower, of let me say far lower than the valuation by the independent advisor.
Same Capital advisors were the transaction advisors. Somebody just sent Same Capital.
Same Capital.
Same
Okay.
Capital, yeah.
So I was saying that for anything of conflict of interest to happen is when the value that Smith has said, I'm selling this thing for maybe 100 cedis. Then Smith awards the contract or the shares that they are selling out to Rock City, who is paying 40 cedis. Whilst there are other people who have bidded 60 cedis. Then you can start questioning what makes that 60 CD, what makes that 40 CD more important than the 60 CD. And I was just thinking to myself, it would have rather been more, even, I don't want to say criminal, but more practice for Smith not to have accepted Rock City's bid. Why do I say that? So look at the figures.
No, you tell me. What's in it?
I don't want to mention the other parties.
Yeah, don't mention, but you can say A.
Yes, A, which is Rock City, is A. The first asset was Labadi Beach Hotel. The valuation was 23.3 million. The highest bidder was 29 million, which is over the valuation. So if it tells you that Rock City overvaluated and bidded 29.4 million.
For 60% of Labadi Beach Hotel.
For 60% of Labadi Beach Hotel. Okay. But you know what is surprising? If you combine the other two, the B and C, if you combine what they brought, it doesn't even still reach what Rock City is saying.
So you are saying Rock City was the highest bidder?
Yes.
The 29 million, the figures you are mentioning are monies that to be invested, money to be given to Senate for 60%.
For 60%.
So Senate is collecting the money.
Yes.
And it will come into Senate coffers.
Yes. It will
for the pension fund.
Yes. For the pension fund.
What then does he do with the hotel? He walks in and that's
so
what.
So when he comes in, the crazy part is, if I could.
The Senate say that when you come in, you have to achieve this, that.
If you come in, you have another financial obligation. They call it the capital expenditure. Like as I was using the example of the Airbnb. If I come in, I have to revamp the place. So I have an agreement with you that I'll change the lights, I'll change this. And what is costing for just Labadi Beach Hotel is supposed to be 6 million. But Rock City is going to come up with 6.3.
Okay, so they pay government for Labadi Beach Hotel, they pay government 29 million. Yes. Government takes that and give them 60%.
Exactly.
Beyond that, they're immediately supposed to invest $6 million to revamp the place.
Exactly.
For Labadi Beach Hotel.
Just for Labadi Beach
That
Hotel.
figure should be more for La Palm.
La Palm, when...
In terms of the revamping.
So, in terms of revamping, it's even crazy for La Palm. The value of the assets for La Palm was 22.5 million.
Yes, it should be lower than Labadi Beach. Makes sense.
Yes, but Rock City had a bid of 21 million.
Okay.
The next person had 13 million. and the last person had 5 million. If you combine the
A
and
plus
B,
5, it
doesn't even reach the 21 million. But what happens is that when you are done with this 21 million that is going to the pension fund, you are now coming to invest a crazy 54 million. Yeah, 54 million.
It will show. It adds up.
Over 600 million Ghana cedis.
So anybody who knows LAPAM will know that LAPAM needs huge investment.
Over 600 million.
But the Destination people check to see that the said Rock City have these resources.
So when it comes to transactions like this, it's your bankers who have to guarantee for you.
Oh, that yes, we are willing to back him with this.
Yes. It's not just about willing to back him with it, but that his financials, they are doing well. So it's surprising to hear an honorable member of parliament say that Rock City is not making profit. The person lied through his teeth. I'm telling you.
But if Rock City is not making profits, how will they go through this transaction?
And their bankers, two bankers. I'm telling you, two bankers. I just don't
banks?
Want to, yes, I don't want to mention in the document. Two bankers are telling you that
2 banks.
Yes, 2 banks. Let me say 2 banks are telling you. I've written what they call a letter of comfort. So it tells you that even when it comes to West, they have a financial guarantor, which is a bank. And why will a bank of this stature want to lie about what somebody has and what somebody doesn't have?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do, because they know the legal implications. And especially on the government institutions.
How are these documents going to charge?
Well, I don't know what the Honorable Brandon Champon's reply to
Suraj will be.
I've not had opportunity to talk to him yet. But if I do, I'll ask him.
Wow.
I'll ask him.
So this is the story.
But sir, there's a part of the story that people are not looking at. During the PNDC time, under the, let me say, this whole activity of accountability and oversight, they made some Ghanaians very bitter. 2 Ghanaian businessmen, someone like J.K. Sian took his business from him. Someone like B.A. Mensah, someone that I grew up hearing his name. I never met him, but we heard how successful he was. Well, they said Tata Brewery and Kweku Moto.
Tata Brewery was Sian.
And
B.A. Mensah was International Tobacco. And then Apenti Mensah was St. Louis Sugar.
And these were companies.
And Boache Mattress was Mattress Factory.
The one in Kumasi.
Yes, but it was all over. Boache Mattress was all over. That factory was stopped as well. It's a local manufacturing mattress factory.
Sir, when you look at it, it's the same thing going on. You have an honorable member, Okujeto Ablakwa, lying through his teeth. And that's what's shocking. Can you imagine that? As we are sitting here, Rock City has not filed their taxes for 2023. They have up to the end of June.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's own kind of life received into the spirit of a man. Whoa! This divine life in the heart of a man makes him righteous, keeps him healthy, divinely guided in life, prosperous and victorious. It gives you the ability to enjoy intimate fellowship with the Father and have